Hey guys, RPG Shactics here, and as painful as this topic is going to be for me, I want to talk about Bethesda and what I believe is their strategy when it comes to their games nowadays. If you're like me wondering what on earth they're thinking, don't believe for a second that this isn't intentional. Don't believe for a second that they don't have a set goal in mind for the company. Bethesda, unfortunately, is no longer the company that fans knew and loved. They've essentially graduated into the major leagues, as Cyberpunk would put it. Passion and fan base support no longer the play here. And I'm going to go over this in three major steps that they're taking to completely shift the goalpost they have in mind. Now that we have all the time in the world to calm down after the horrendous disaster that was the Fallout Anniversary Edition, let's try to get straight into this real quick. Oh, and also, guys, if you vibe with what you see here, feel free to show a little love and support with a like and comment. If you want to subscribe, do that too. I'm just hoping to build a nice little community here someday. I cover all things RPG related here, and very soon I'll be focusing on things like mod lists and setups to make older RPG titles feel fresh and new again. Okay, enough interruptions. I promise. Part one: shifting to the casual audience, casual versus fans. Almost every company that isn't private or indie is facing the same heavy-handed backlash from investors, and that's the pressure to cast their nets wider to reach a broader audience. I'm sure we've all heard that term going on and on again. The days of niche-based gaming are fading into AAA titles, and that's exactly why AA and indie games have become the new focus for dedicated gamers. Bethesda is no different. Ever since Fallout 4 and even more so Fallout 76, I've actually noticed an insane pivot towards more casual and gimmicky gameplay and stories. Fallout 4 was far goofier than its predecessors. I mean, look at the gun designs and artwork and some of the monster designs and like just the overall tone they're going for, right? Fallout 76 took it even further with cosmetics and silly nature of the game. People wonder why I couldn't get into that game Fallout 76 at all because it's just too silly to me. Seeing people run around a post-apocalyptic wasteland in clownish costumes, spawning random platforms everywhere out of thin air. There was a time when these games had serious tones behind them. Fallout 3, Oblivion, Morrowind. I mean, sure, you can argue that those games had goofy elements too, but those things came from bugs and presentation limitations, not design philosophy. Bethesda essentially took the memes of their old games and decided to meme themselves. I got worried the moment they had the E3 showcase called Bethesda Land, themed around a kiddie amusement park. But things like this appeal to the casual fan base, people who don't take the story or tone of these worlds seriously, and that's exactly who they're targeting now. The anniversary edition of Fallout cemented this for me. It wasn't for the fans, it was for the hyper consuming players who can't wait for another drip of content from Bethesda. More importantly, it was for new coming casual players who will be introduced to the upcoming TV show. How do I know this? Look at the clues they released the update on November 10th, not just for the anniversary, but to let the backlash fizzle out before the show releases. This way, newcomers will go in blindly and pick up the junk-filled mods and the base game for $60. They packaged all this stuff nicely, and they even made like some weird iterations, such as making the creation bundle really low in fine print at the bottom, hoping that some people purchase the game a second time. Then they'll look at all the creations and say, "Oh, look, it's only $8 for this, and it's only $5 for this. I'll just buy this. I'll just buy that." And Bethesda knows the old fan base will shrink, so they're going to go all in, shifting their player base to the casual audience. Think of this as a soft reset, so to speak. Right? We're gonna eventually leave and move on from it, and these new players are gonna come in and gobble up everything that they have here. Why invest heavily in new content when they can recycle the old stuff for players who either haven't seen it yet or are just who are like hopping back in after years pass by? It plays perfectly into something I'll talk about later. But first, let's move on to the next step. Part two: intentionally leaving games in a poor state. Bethesda has always had bugs, glitches, crashes, and silly quirks. And honestly, we as fans put up with them because they were once RPG giants. I mean, who else came out with these big, huge, open world, expansive RPGs at the time or at their peak level? Unfortunately, the company saw that as an opportunity to meme themselves once again and use it as a shield from criticism. Now that issue is festered into their very gameplay, with key features just pretty much missing now. Starfield released and felt like pieces of Skyrim were scattered across 1,000 planets and felt empty and lifeless as a result. The game was missing the heart and soul that once defined the titles. And while I won't go over all of that because we've heard like the stories of Starfield a million times over, I'll just say this: it's intentional. The Creation Club has become Bethesda's main focus because of their insanely long development cycles. If it weren't for the booming modding community, Bethesda would have probably been forced to make smaller content updates themselves. But then they realized, what if we make the modders do it and we pay them while being the middleman? You see, the modding community, the thing we beloved and love the most, essentially became the very thing used against us. Now they don't need to divert the resources at all. But here's the thing: what happens if the game is too good? Bethesda has zero incentive to make top tier game now. The fewer things that need fixing or expanded through mods, the less they make through the Creation Club. Why bother like fixing these issues if they can just sell you the fix through some modder and pay them bare minimum, by the way, for their content? They made Starfield large and empty intentionally, banking on future Creation Club content to fill that void and sell it in pieces. Combine that with casual fans on console, and you have an audience primed to buy micro content without even realizing they repurchased a full price game. I always say there are two things that make hyperconsumerism an easy trap today. One is prices shown in small amounts and with alternative currencies, and the other is online shopping where you never see money physically leave your hands. All these glitches, missing features, bugs, and design flaws are now part of an intentional feedback loop. The TV show brings new eyes in, Bethesda drops an update to hook them, the audience buys in, and only a fraction of the old fans leave because some of the fans are kind of just conform to the idea of it. That's one negative for three positives. An absolute win for them. That's why they keep going in this direction. It's why Skyrim to me and Fallout 4 will forever be the last true Elder Scrolls and Fallout games because I think this will be baked into their new titles. But what about the free modding community? Well, that leads directly into the final part of their plan. Part 3, and the worst one of them all: death of the free modding community. Even writing this part gives me chills because it was such a huge part of my teenage years. The biggest modding scene on the internet, without question, is the Bethesda modding community. Skyrim broke barriers with the mods they came out with on the Nexus. The same goes for Fallout 4 and other games made by Bethesda. The Creation Kit made it possible. It was flexible, powerful, and fan driven. Yes, it had problems. Yes, it had bugs. Yes, it has its issues and its weaknesses, but all of these dev tools are literally have the same issues, just in different ways. Even today, the new mods drop that completely blow my mind. I played a mod list, which I'll talk about in some other video, called Lorem, and it still stuns me every time I boot it up that 3,700 mods can work in tandem so well together. The free modding community used to be the lifeblood of Bethesda's success. It was the essence of freedom and creativity, and it made Bethesda look like a good company, even to the skeptics. But nothing pure lasts forever because eventually companies succumb to greed. The modding community is now a thorn in Bethesda's plans. Modders are resilient and passionate, but they're also people, and Bethesda knows how to wear people down. The random updates breaking mods, the sudden game changes, ruining unofficial patches, the way old mods stop functioning out of nowhere, it's not a coincidence. Updating 10-year-old games just to break the load orders, that's not maintenance, that's sabotage. Sure, older games like Skyrim and Fallout 4 are recoverable, but the real damage is in the future, not the current games. Look at Starfield. Modders say it's incredibly difficult to mod, so most don't even bother. And the mods that you see on Starfield aren't even like at the upper echelon, like how Skyrim's mods were or how Fallout mods were. The goal is clear: de-incentivize free modding so people depend on paid creations. Bethesda doesn't want new fans and new casual fans, that is, conditioned by Nexus. They want them conditioned by the Creation Club. And the best way to do that? Soft lock free mods through glitches, updates, and code restrictions. Starfield was deliberately made a pain to mod on. They even left code that broke the unofficial patch in Fallout. But thankfully, modders fought back with the patch downgraders, one of the best mods of 2024 for Fallout. There's plenty of evidence here, like how they broke the game right before Fallout London's release, or how they leave legacy code unfixed so mods crash unpredictably, or how they literally shadow dropped Oblivion Remastered, knowing fully well a team of people, of dedicated modders, wanted to make that game over and was going to release it the same year. They're playing an internal game here, and it's sad to see the company we once loved turn their backs on us. That's why I never supported the idea of paid mods. Not because I dislike mod creators. I love and support them. I donated to many Patreons, but because I knew this day would come. The system can't coexist peacefully. It's bound to clash until one side caves. And so here's my final thoughts. Will this plan even work? Well, I mean, only time will tell, honestly. And I'll be really and brutally honest. I hope it doesn't. I know it sounds crazy for me to say that because there's people's jobs on the line. But for anyone who loved Bethesda games, there's no real comeback from this. The company we knew died in 2017 on that Bethesda land stage. Todd said on that stage 16 times the detail, but left out 16 times the microtransactions. That's what disappoints me the most, too. Whenever something succeeds, it gets abused to oblivion. It's why I sometimes wonder if it's even worth publicly celebrating the hobbies we love, because once the masses embrace it, the corporations come in, swoop in, and wreck it. Fallout 4 was fine 2 years ago. Modders were thriving. Fans were happy. Then out of nowhere, they come in, wreck everything, disappear for 18 months, then return, wreck everything again, and say, pay us more. It's truly a disgrace, not just because of the company itself, but because they're damaging games we paid for long ago and supported and still support to this day in the most negative ways possible. But let me know what you guys think down below. For anyone who is new to the channel, I hope you enjoyed this video. And if it's your vibe, subscribe. It really helps me out a lot. I'll be sharing some awesome mod lists and gameplays soon, showing Skyrim and Fallout looking unbelievable, rivaling even modern gen titles. I even have some of the snippets here in my, in the videos I'm showing right now. But most importantly, I really do hope you guys stick around. Stay safe, you guys. Love you all. RPG Shactics is out.
Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Keep my head up when I act, head up, that's a fact. Never looking back, I'ma keep myself on track. Keep my head up, staying strong, always moving on. Feel I don't belong, tell my thoughts to move along. Push myself to be the best, die with no regrets.